Hello and welcome to the Bonsai Garden. I have something a little different for you today, so please indulge me. During 2020, as we all went into lockdown due to the COVID pandemic, as well as maintaining my bonsai trees, I also started keeping a haiku journal. It was an unsettling and uncertain time when we were separated from friends and loved ones, and for me, keeping a haiku journal was a means of slowing down and celebrating the beauty of nature. It was, if you like, a gratitude journal expressed in haiku poetry. Each verse was a meditation on the beauty of nature around me. I'd like to share some of those verses about trees and about my bonsai with you, together with some evocative and stirring photography. So, enjoy. Haiku, the classical Japanese minimal poetry format in 17 syllables over 3 lines, often with a seasonal element. The essence of haiku is the appreciation of nature and wabi-sabi, beauty that comes from age, impermanence and imperfection. For me then, a haiku represents a snapshot in time, a vignette perfectly captured in minimalistic language. It conjures a vivid image and evokes an emotive response. Similarly, a beautiful image or photograph can tell a powerful story through lighting, framing and composition. Indeed, whilst a picture paints 1,000 words, a haiku paints a picture with just 17 syllables. The haiku included here are the direct results of a conscious effort to be more mindful and zen, to appreciate wabi-sabi and the beauty and impermanence of the little things around us, to be thankful every day. They were written during 2020, a year much marred by the worldwide COVID-19 pandemic. I kept and maintained a haiku journal, and I simply wrote and wrote and wrote, whenever the inspiration struck. Many of my haiku were about my bonsai, walks in the woods, trees in general, or an appreciation of nature, and I've included several of those here. Miniature trees, contorted by hand and wire, natural beauty. The art of bonsai is all about creating a stylized image of an ideal tree in miniature. This is done with horticultural techniques such as wiring and pruning, and is not a particular species of tree, as some people believe. The alliteration or repeated T sound in this following haiku made me laugh as I was composing it. The art of bonsai, turning a twig into a twee. The dictionary definition of twee is excessively or affectedly quaint, pretty or sentimental. This seemed highly appropriate, particularly for the Shohin and Mame trees, of which I am very fond. Rows of tiny trees, a forest in my garden, in ceramic pots. Uneven blue glaze, my favourite bonsai pot, so wabi-sabi. Lost in the forest, amid bare trunks I wander, my zen place of calm. Trees stand white beneath fresh snow, bonsai in winter. In decades from now, this featureless hornbeam stump will be fine bonsai. In bonsai, it's not uncommon to take a taller tree and cut it down significantly and regrow the branches over subsequent years. Here I've taken a 6-foot tall hornbeam tree, which I bought cheaply from a garden centre, and cut it down to an 8-inch tree, a featureless stump. Done at the right time of year, it will throw out new branches in spring, and the years of training, development and refinement to become a spectacular miniature bonsai tree begin. Amid frozen trees, I sit, breathe and contemplate the nature of truth. Here I'm sat, not in some wooded glade, but in my bonsai garden, amongst my collection of bonsai trees. Trees have existed in one form or another for 350 million years, and well before the advent of man. They outnumber us 422 to 1. They're incredible, majestic beings that live their lives at a different pace from us, and far outlive our short lifespans. Recent scientific knowledge shows us that they live in communities and can communicate and support each other through underground networks of symbiotic mycorrhiza fungus. Long before the last tree could ever be cut down, the damage to the atmosphere would have wiped out humanity. I believe then that trees will be here long after we've gone extinct. The earth is not ours, it is theirs. They were here before and will endure long after. The earth is theirs, trees. Over the summer, my neighbour hired someone to cut back her overgrown trees. I hope she didn't pay them too much. Dead branch amid green. My neighbour hired tree butchers, not surgeons. And a mental note, an enthusiastic 18-year-old with a chainsaw is not a tree surgeon. In my mind, there's a poetic hierarchy of trees. Oak trees are the masculine aged kings. The silver birch is the elegant regal queen, with her weeping branches, striping white bark and black darts and fissures. The Japanese maple, by comparison, is the delicate showy princess. These are themes which recur throughout my tree-related haiku. Leaning on his stick, bears the weight of aged limbs, gnarly old tree. In the grounds of Nostell Priory near Wakefield, where I live, there's an old oak tree with a low horizontal branch, which is supported by a sturdy wooden prop. This made me think of an elderly gent supporting himself on a walking stick. earthbound tentacles, life-sustaining mossy limbs, ancient tree roots. Climbing from the soil like a huge splayed octopus, gnarly grey tree roots. Skeletal fingers clawing at leaden sky, rotting tree remains. An old man stooping, 4 centuries he has stood, venerable oak. Clinging on for life, exposed limbs grasping at the rock, twisted cliff-top tree. Between bare branches, lacy cobwebs hung with dew, catching blazing sunlight. Blazing larch tree leaves against the dark bare woodland, fiery autumn gold. Larch trees are one of the few deciduous conifers. Their needles turn a spectacular yellow gold before dropping in late autumn. In fact, the pseudolarix, the Chinese larch, looks nothing less than exploding fireworks. Against cold grey skies, a tracery of fine branches, a lone crow laments. Corner of a park, she weeps deeply for spring, leafless silver birch. The birch has a natural weeping growth habit. I like the dual meaning here. Does he feel the cold, this writhing, twisted old man, an ancient oak tree? Slender white beauty stands amid the frozen snows, regal silver birch. See her resting now, her 80-year reign is over, fallen silver birch. By tree standards, the silver birch is relatively short-lived, at 80 to 140 years. By contrast, oak trees can live beyond 400 years, and the yew tree can exceed 1,000 years. They huddle for warmth, tender kissing silver trunks. Even trees know love. This verse was inspired on a woodland walk when I saw 2 silver birch trees growing together, their trunks entwined, as though in an embrace. They gently caress the lapping, cooling waters, weeping willow leaves. No cream or cure will revive her faded beauty, ruptured old birch bark. As they age, the striking white bark of the silver birch tree develops dark diamond-shaped fissures, looking like the darts cut into fabric. Silver and diamonds adorn their finest garments, majestic birch trees. Since the 1980s, the Japanese have practiced Shinrin-yoku, or forest bathing, where they encourage people to spend time outdoors amongst the trees, bathed in and absorbing the calming natural ambience. It's believed to significantly mitigate the root cause of a multitude of ailments, namely stress. Excess stress can contribute to headaches, high blood pressure, heart problems, among many other illnesses and health problems. I'm fortunate in that I live in the suburbs, between town and country, and with only a short time I can be amongst the local fields and woodland. The beauty of nature is always a rich source of inspiration for haiku, and an opportunity to enjoy and appreciate the wonders of the natural world. In woodland, I am always particularly struck by the way light shifts and dances as it shines through the gently swaying branches and leaves overhead. Dappled canopy, questing beams of sunlight probe the forest floor. In a leafy glade, bright red agaric mushrooms, fairy parasols. Fly agaric mushrooms grow amid the dead leaves of birch trees and are picturesque red-capped mushrooms with white spots and stems of fairy tales. They're also poisonous. Cherry blossom stirs, dappled light on mossy stone, too transient beauty. I was particularly mesmerised watching the light and shade moving over a mossy wall as a light breeze stirred the leaves and blossom of the cherry tree. The cherry blossom, though beautiful, is celebrated particularly because its splendour is also so very short-lived. My heart sings to see, long forgotten friends returned, first cherry blossom. Absorbed in his work, too occupied with blossom to acknowledge me. Here a bee is busy searching for pollen and seems blissfully unaware or unconcerned with my presence. Soft pink confetti falling to the grass beneath the old cherry tree. At the death of spring, walking on a carpet of pink cherry blossom. Moss is a beautiful and much underappreciated plant. It has a multitude of varieties from plush, velvet-looking clump mosses to horizontal growing varieties. They come in a rich variety of shades of green and can be found on old walls, trees, rotting stumps and damp shaded surfaces. Velvet moss glistens, red fronds salute the sun. Soft sound of birdsong. I greatly admire your green, verdant velvet sleeve, moss-enveloped branch. If you've enjoyed the haiku verses in this video, you might be interested to know that they were taken from my book Haiku Dreams, which is available on Amazon. It's approximately 200 pages of haiku verses on a whole range of different topics, and accompanied by commentary explanation of the verses and beautiful photography. There's also an alternative version, 500 haiku, which is just purely the haiku verses without the commentary or the images. They'd make great Christmas gifts to anybody who's interested in haiku, Japanese philosophy, or just the beauty of nature. Thank you for watching, and hope to see you in the next one.